Hello, how's everyone doing? We still have 8 minutes, so you all can get yourselves in position, get you something to drink, do all those housekeeping things that need to be done. We still have about 8 minutes.
Good evening.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm gonna just eat the rest of my dinner over here and then I'll be right back, okay?
Okay, you got time. Yeah, we
Okay.
have about 8 minutes before the hour.
Okay.
Good evening. We still have quite a few minutes before we officially start. You can go ahead and place your name and your campus in the chat. Go ahead and do your housekeeping things, getting things situated around you. Make sure you log into your course. We'll take the quiz first, but we still have a few more minutes before we officially start. Place your name and your campus in the chat. Good evening, everyone. We still have about 4 minutes before we officially start. If you would go ahead and place your name and your campus in the chat. The name of your campus in the chat. Good evening to everyone. We have about 2 minutes before we'll officially start. If you would go ahead and place your name and your campus in the chat. We will call start time on the quiz here in just a few minutes. You can go ahead and log into your course shell. How is everyone doing this evening?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing well. Great, great. Been a beautiful week. I am going to share our agenda. If I can find, oh, here it is, right? Well, I need to stop sharing because I can't let you all in. So we still have less than a minute before we officially start. So good evening to everyone again. Excuse me. If you have not placed your name and your campus in the chat, please do so at this time. You will need to go ahead and log into your course shell because, we're going to start with the quiz. We'll look at our agenda for this evening. Overall, your scores, your performance on your exam, overall, you all did well. I do encourage you to identify whatever it is that you need to rearrange, that you need to delete, that you need to do differently, whichever one of those things fits you. For each of us is always something different for each person. You can have the conversations with your team members, the classmates, and just see what they're doing. But still, at the end of the day, you need to figure out what's going to work for you so that you can be able to apply the concepts. Like I said, overall, you all did really well as a group, but we aim for excellence because we are going to be taking care of people, so we want to give them our best. So we still strive to move forward in getting the best understanding that we can. So with that being said, I'm just going to share the agenda for tonight. Of course, we will start with the quiz, and I'll tell you when start time is for that. Wait. And we do encourage you to reach out if one-on-one tutoring is what you think you need. Like I said, it's different things for different people. Wait a minute, where did my agenda go to? So our agenda for tonight, of course, we will do the quiz, and we do allow 15 minutes. In the event that you finish before the quiz is, the 15 minutes is up, feel free to walk away from leave your computer on, leave your screen up. Feel free to walk away and just make sure you return within those 15 minutes because we will move on. So while you all take the quiz, we want to I just want to exhaust all means with you being able to understand the concepts. It is not that most of you don't know the concepts, it's being able to apply what you know in order to answer the question. So I have 2 case studies. They're short. And then we will have, we're gonna look at some videos and then a concept PowerPoint, just to look at the content in different ways, because we know you all learn in different ways. So I'm just trying to mix it up. So first, we'll take the quiz. If you finish before the 15 minutes is up, just set your timer so that you can return back to your workstation so we can start at that time frame. Leave your cameras on. While you are taking the quiz, I'll send the case studies to your email in the course shell, and we'll work on those together as a group and then as a whole group. So no worries about that. And then we'll look at some videos, and then the PowerPoint concepts will take us on to the end. Okay, so if you would go ahead and log into your course shell, and you can start the quiz. I'm going to set my timer for 15 minutes. If you need to communicate anything, place it in the chat. Timer starts now. I'm going to mute myself. Okay, let's see here. Okay, make sure you place your name and your campus in the chat if you haven't done so. Okay, so let's just do three questions for review real quick. I posted the exam review already. I sent it to your emails in the course shell. All right, so name 4 STI or STD testing that are just kind of routinely recommended. So if someone was going in and said they needed to be tested for STDs or STIs, what are those 4 exams or tests would they run? Well, give me the names of them.
Herpes,
Chlamydia, gonorrhea,
HIV,
trichomonas,
gonorrhea, chlamydia.
gonorrhea, chlamydia, syphilis, and gosh, what is that other one?
I think I heard someone say it.
The trichomonas.
Trichomonas,
No. What's the-
HIV.
HIV, yes. So 4 tests that are kind of standard, they, plus or minus, but the person shouldn't be alarmed if they, say, hey, we're going to do HIV, gonorrhea, genital herpes, and syphilis test. Now that could be the actual, it could be blood, it could be urine, but those are generally the tests that they run.
So what are the 4 again? It's HIV,
Class, tell us. HIV,
syphilis,
syphilis,
Chlamydia, gonorrhea.
HIV, syphilis, genital herpes, and gonorrhea.
and gonorrhea. Okay.
So if someone were to ask you, what is hospice all about? What is their main focus? What would you say?
Comfort care.
Comfort care.
Okay. All right.
Pain management. Oh, I'm sorry.
Exactly. So pain management, comfort care. Yes. So it's like tomato, that's still saying the same thing. So I'm glad you said that. So when you're reading test questions and you're reading through content, don't get tripped up because it's saying tomato and you used to seeing tomato. They're the same thing. Comfort measures, pain control, that's saying the same thing. So keep that in mind as you review the questions and try to make a selection. You are the nurse, you're taking care of people of a different race or ethnicity, of a different sexual orientation, or etc. What should be your initial consideration?
The language barrier.
Initial.
Oh, I'm sorry.
First. So look for those.
The cultural beliefs.
What'd you say, Ms. Bierman?
Cultural beliefs.
Okay, someone else. First. So think about those keywords. If it says all, initial, priority, then when you look at the answer choices, I'm glad you all said that. More than likely, all the answer choices are correct, but the question said initial. So that should be the first thing that you should consider when you're taking care of people of different ethnicity and or different sexual orientation or just different, whatever, all together. What's that first thing that you should do as a nurse? What should you consider?
Is it your own beliefs?
Yes, you should consider your own beliefs. So keep that in mind. All the things that you all initially said, they're correct, but it's not the first thing, the initial thing that you should do. Okay, so make sure you all are reviewing the exam reviews. I know I brought out all those key points in that exam review. If you have not looked at it, please look at it.
I was about to say, Miss Ford, I'm gonna be honest. I couldn't look at yours yet. I'm going to, but with peds and med surge before it, like we have these classes before you, so I kind of be having to like look at theirs over and over again. But I'm gonna get to it.
Yes, I do recommend. You all are busy. We're just busy people. I don't know what's happening in the world. We're so busy, but we need to do all of those things that we need to do that's on our to-do list. So I recommend when you have reviews at that. So that's why I do mine early. So you have enough time to look at the content. So you're not just bombarded right there at the end. And so look at it for 5 minutes, turn it off. Look at it for 5 minutes again on another day. Don't sit and watch the entire thing anyways, because you want to look at the reviews and make sure, you know, jot down what you know about the concept that we're talking about, that you're hearing being discussed, and see what you know. Stop it. And then start it again. But you don't have to, I'm not recommending watching the whole review or any reviews all at one time. You may, when you get closer toward the actual exam, because you do, for one, have other things to do, but then you still want to review the content. You want to give yourself, like I initially said when we first started, you need to look and decide what you need to do as an individual, whether that is deleting some things, rearranging some things, or just doing things different. Okay. All right, so let's move on. We're gonna watch this short video. Have a couple of videos to reinforce the content. But while we're looking at that, make sure you log into your course shell in your mail and click case study 1. That's what we're going to next. We're gonna look at case study 1. So let me share my screen. I'm gonna watch some of this video here.
Of health and all across Rhode Island, we believe strongly that everyone deserves the opportunity to live a healthy life, regardless of their zip code. The Health Equity Zones is not just a project, it's really a movement. We know we have socioeconomic and environmental conditions that need to be addressed. We know about the disparities, we know about the numbers that exist. Health Equity Zones gives us an opportunity to go from talking about those numbers to putting an infrastructure in place that puts the community's voice front and center and gives us the opportunity to do something about those numbers.
Particularly in communities here like Olneyville, where we're part of the HES, we know that living in poverty is a toxic stressor, which can negatively impact brain development. We know that with a mindfulness program as part of social emotional learning, we can teach some healthy coping strategies for success in school and life.
The impact is seen daily. We have a walking school bus. If you live less than a mile away, 0.9, 0.8, you have to walk to school on your own. When you're 5, 6, 7 years old, it can be a little scary. The walking school bus ushers them to school safely and brings them home safely.
120. The great thing about Sankofa World Market actually is, especially in the West End and the South Side community, there's not a lot of like grocery stores that provide these fresh foods. So the goal of the market is to have the chance to provide fresh produce. And we also provide a lot of nutrition to those in the community that may not have access to it.
Hi, my name's Alicia and I went through the Youth Police Initiative. It was important because I felt like I was more safe in Providence now that I got to understand where the police was coming from, and I feel like the police got to understand. Yes, I see them patrolling around and they always wait for me. It's important to have healthy, clean, quality, affordable housing.
And so when we're talking about environment, we just sometimes think about the grass or the sky, but there's so many things that are part of our environment that can negatively affect us as well as positively affect us. So that video was just to give us to open our minds up to think more about than just the grass, the trees, and the sky when people are talking about environment. So in our first case study, it has to do with the environment and what was the other topic in there? The environment and occupational health. Okay, so do you all have the case study 1 pulled up? Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna set a timer for 13 minutes. I'm gonna randomly just put you in a group, talk through it after the 15 minutes. So 15 minutes may be too long because they're short case studies. So we'll say 12 minutes to talk about it in the group, and then we'll come back and talk about it in the whole group. So just accept the invitation. You're not placed in your groups for your group project. This is just for right now. So just accept the invitation. The task is look at the case study, talk it through. Be sure that you're able to answer the questions that are there. There's scenarios, things you have to think through, but it does not change the concepts and the information that you know. So don't be afraid of the case study. And we will bring you all back into
Can I ask where is, excuse me, Dr. Ford,
sent to your individual.
can you tell me where it is?
It's in your course, it's in your mail. Look in your mailbox inside of the course shell. Okay, and just accept the invitation. 12 minutes. We'll come back and talk about it whole group. Let me set my timer. So accept the invitation so that you can move to the group and work on case study 1 that was sent to your course shell email. Mariah, are you there? Mr. Frank, accept the
Yes,
invitation.
ma'am.
Go to the group.
I'm in the group now. I think so.
So it should pop up on your screen and you just click join. Yes. Mariah, are you there? Ms. Cutlip, are you there? Oh, you did put a message in the chat. I apologize.
So like for the second one, I mean, as far as just like Googling what an occupational therapist does, the only thing I could think is like starting a care plan, treat people who have injuries.
So, and then for the questions where it says, do you think that children are more resilient when exposed to hazardous chemicals in the environment? True or false?
Say it one more time. What was the question?
Yeah, it says children, it's a true or false. It says children are more resilient when exposed to hazardous chemicals in the environment.
All of them can kind of relate to it.
Well, it says select and explain the best rationale, so I didn't know.
Okay, it does say the
What the
best.
best. I don't know. I feel like it would be the third one. What about you? What do you think?
I'm sorry, what did you say? Which one?
I mean, the third one, the fourth one, to observe effectiveness of safety education and equipment.
I
What do you think?
I don't know what kind of first aid she had to provide.
So the last one, and she knows that most adults spend about 1/3 of their time at work. Angie sees firsthand the various injuries and diseases that persons can acquire from employment. No work is completely risk-free. Every single industry
conditions,
Fine.
maintaining employee health records,
You're killing me, Smalls. Hold on. Employee health screenings, keeping health record.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what 3 we came up with so far.
Yes.
Good.
Oh, medical clearance, like if a person gets
Oh,
hurt at work.
yep. How long it's gonna take for them to come back?
Okay.
Okay, so do we have everyone back? Almost back. So let's go ahead and discuss what are some environmental hazards. Let me hear from Sanithia, Mache, or Peyton. What are some environmental hazards?
Maybe like pesticides
Okay.
or working with pesticides.
And so what are we doing right now that pretty much everyone is exposed to pesticides right now? Because we're doing what now? It's that time of year that we're what?
Isn't that when you guys like
Gardening.
everybody's like spraying the grass and putting that lawn stuff out?
Garden stuff.
Fertilizing.
Exactly. We're planting those gardens, we're cutting that grass, trying to keep those weeds away, and we're sitting outside enjoying ourselves, and we have the little things burning, we have the little spray that we're spraying on ourselves. We're just exposed to so many different things, but they're not so to speak to hazards, but they really can become hazards if we're exposed to them at a higher level. So yes, environmental hazards. And on a larger scale, we do know back here a couple of months ago, trains were just derailing everywhere. It's like, what in the world is going on? But in that one town, there was really, really toxic things that were spilled over into the waterway there. But our environmental hazards, you know, just the run of a day, we are all exposed to different things. And believe it or not, you know, there's a certain amount of things that can harm you that are allowed in things that we consume, that we put on our body, for example, lotions and things like that. So we have to be careful with those different things that we actually use. Do some homework on them, read up on them, because I know you all are hearing on the TV, if you've used this type of, is it Roundup? If you've used this type of hair relaxer, it's like, what in the world is going on? Yes, but so a certain amount of things that are harmful to us are allowed in products in order for them to be made. But it's supposed to be at a level that is not supposed to be really harmful to us. Okay, so we're talking about children here. Let's see, can I make this a little bit larger? So keep in mind, we're saying true or false, and we're keeping in mind, we're talking about being outside in the environment. True or false? Let's see. Amber, R, Garrett, and Linda. Look at the statement number 1. What did you all come up with? Is that true or false?
We said false.
Okay, so what would make that statement true?
They're least resilient.
Exactly. So what is resilient anyways? What's that word mean? What does that word mean?
It's like the ability to like overcome.
Okay. And why is it? So here it is, when you're discussing reading a test question or reviewing a concept, what is it about that concept that we know? What do we know about children? In reference to their health and development.
They're vulnerable. Their immune system not developed all the way.
Okay, immune system. What else? What did you say, Ms. Owens?
I said they're a part of the vulnerable population.
Why? What else besides their immune system that hasn't developed yet all the way?
Their brain?
Anybody. Pretty much the whole body. Remember, there's a child. That's why they're called a child. They are still developing. So the concept here is a child. So keep that in mind. They're still developing. You mean they can run, jump, and hop, but they still haven't developed all the way. So they are at risk. They're vulnerable. They're more at risk for things, adverse effects because of that. So keep that in mind. So the next question, the next statement says, children are more vulnerable to adverse health outcomes related to environmental exposures. Frank, Kendra, or Shamika, what did you all put?
We put true.
True.
Okay. So go back to our concept, children. They little babies, they can run, jump, and hop, but they're still developing all body systems. So looking at that question, yes, they are more vulnerable. They're that considered that vulnerable population. All right, statement number 3. Anyone?
False.
False.
Okay, what would make that statement true?
They are.
Yeah.
Okay, and the last statement?
False.
Okay, and what would make that statement true?
It's not only.
So I asked you all what would make that statement true for several of these statements. As you are preparing for your exams, when you sit to read the test questions, that one word could change.
Only.
Okay. That's fine, Ms. Thompson.
Sorry, I didn't mean to be loud.
That's okay. So when you're reading through the test questions and the answer choices, it could seem like this is the answer, but if we put one word in there, it would make that statement false. So another test taking tip is a strategy, what we just did. We went through answer choices. We looked at them as, is this a true statement or is it a false statement? So if there was a test question that says, select the statement below that indicates that children are more vulnerable for environmental exposures, which one would you select, A, B, C, or D? In order to select a test strategy that you could use is what we just did, is A, B, C, or D is here. But read each statement as if it's true or false to help you answer or select the answer choice. Are you all following what I'm saying? Because you all have knowledge, but the thing is, well, how do I sift through and pick out and make sense of what I know in the format of a scenario? So read the answer choices and see if they're true or if they're false. So if they're false, we wouldn't select that answer choice. If the question is asking us to pick something that is true or matches, okay? And I'm just letting you all know it is a storm has come up, so hopefully I don't lose you all. All right, so here we go. I went down too far. All right, so we have Miss Angie. She's the occupational health employee nurse at a Valzo company where they make several different supplies and food items. And you are all this stuff just for disclaimer, this stuff is made up as far as the name of the company and people and all that stuff. This is something I just came off the top of my head with. So they make items such as Kool-Aid, Powerade, seat belts, and throw rugs. Angie is busy with safety programs. She's creating them. She's educating the employees. Angie has given first aid to 7 employees from the seatbelt stations that are in that industry, in that building, and also the throw rug station today alone. She's seen 7 people from those 2 areas. Okay, so keep that in mind. What are some job tasks that occupational employee nurses do? Anyone?
Physicals, screenings, vaccine administration.
Mm-hmm.
Drug screening.
I was gonna say that.
Good. Anyone else?
Do they do in-services to make sure you are competent or at least know how to work different machines?
I'm not really sure about in that realm, but if they do check off to see if you are being safe, but not specifically to say how to orientate someone how to use the machine. Do you understand what I'm saying? So they wouldn't teach you how to use a machine, but they would look at how you're using it in the safety realm or the safety thought.
Would they help provide like a care plan, help you put together a care plan?
They call them safety programs.
Okay.
Yes. So in that, but it's the same thing. It's a care. Exactly. Okay.
Don't you go there if you got stuck by a needle?
Say that again.
If you giving a patient an injection or something and you got stuck by the needle,
you would. So in this industry, you talking about an occupational health nurse?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
never mind. Disregard that. I was thinking of something else.
So is the employee health nurse having to administer injections of medication to an employee? Is that what you're saying? And she ended up getting stuck here. She ended up getting stuck by the needle. So they would do what? provide first aid to themselves and see what the action plan is, which is probably reported to, the person will probably have to go to the emergency room and get those series of tests. Because sometimes you do have people, remember, the same people that are in the community, the same people that went to the hospital, the same person that went to the doctor's office yesterday and was put on this new medication, they spend most of their time at their jobs. We really do. And so you're that person that might have to assist, provide that education with that, that medication and or administer those medications. So the potential is there. Okay. Let me go back up here and make sure I got that part. All right, so now let's go back to Angie. She is, 7 employees from those 2 stations have come up. So here we go. Due to the high number of first aid encounters from the employees of the seatbelt stations and the throw rug stations, what in the world are they doing over there today in those 2 stations? Angie decides to walk through the entire facility today. She's coming out of her room, her health room. She's going through the facility. She's going to see what in the world is going on. She has also added the walkthrough to her daily task list. So this is something she was not initially doing, but she's going to the different stations. Select and explain the best rationale. Why you think she's deciding to do this? Deciding to go to the actual stations, specifically the throw rug station and the seatbelt station today.
To see how they perform in their task.
I'd say the last one, to observe the effectiveness of safety and education.
I did too.
I chose the same one.
To observe the effectiveness of safety, education, and equipment. It goes back to who just said that? The asked about the teaching about the equipment. Who was that said that?
I think it was me.
Okay, and remember I said, well, not really the equipment, but just to make sure that they're using the equipment in a safe manner. So yes.
I didn't really mean like teaching. I thought like, okay, say like when you work at let's say you drive forklift, even though they know you're licensed to drive it, every now and then, isn't there like an in-service where they watch you to make sure like you know what you're doing?
This is it right here. To observe the effectiveness of the safety, education, and equipment. Yes.
Oh, so I was right. Okay.
So you're not there to take their forklift certification, so to speak, but you're there on the safety part of it, the safety part of using that forklift and operating the forklift. So all of these rationales are kind of good as the reason why she would go and look and see what they're actually doing on that forklift or making those throw rugs. But the best one is to observe the effectiveness of the safety education that she has taught them and the use of that equipment. Okay. And again, when it says the best rationale or priority, remember, when you look at the answer choices, more than likely, there's some good things that you can do, but it's asking you which one should be priority, which one should be done first, or which one is the best. All right, here we go. Number 4, Angie knows that most adults spend about 1/3 of their time at work. Angie sees firsthand the various injuries and diseases that persons can acquire from employment. No work is completely risk-free. Even if you're sitting down shuffling papers all day, you know, the potential to get that paper cut is something serious. Every single industry grapple or is faced with serious hazards related to work, no matter if it is making seat belts or power grid parts. Angie should convey in reference to safety in the workplace to the employees, which of the following? Select one of the following.
B as in boy, the second one.
Professional.
Is it the third one?
I got second, third.
I would say 4.
The last one.
Yeah.
I say 4.
Yeah, I say the last one.
Exactly, I agree too, because remember.
Yeah, maybe the last one, I'm sorry.
Because no matter where you work at, even if you're shuffling papers all day, the potential to get that paper cut is there, and paper cuts hurt. And so, yes, there's no safe occupation or profession. So even though you've had the forklift certification, even though you have the certification or whatever, still, even though you're wearing the safety equipment, that potential of something happening to you is still there. So you have to keep that on the employee's mind. Hey, we got all these things in place, but something could still potentially happen to you because there's no safe occupation. Okay. And so the things that we just went over, it comes from your reading, so it's just in a different format. So these things are not new. We're just reviewing the concepts in a different way. Okay, so you have another case study number 2, and we're gonna do the same thing, 12 minutes. You all had some healthy conversation, great. And so if you have questions, bounce them off of each other. I was in every room. I encourage you to still talk through things. So here we go. Case study number 2, accept the invitation. You're going to end up in a different room. You might, I'm not sure. It depends on what this Zoom thing does. So, but just go to the room. You were just there to work on case study 2. I'm going to assign 12 minutes. We're going to come back and talk through the case study and open our rooms. Here we go.
Yeah, my lights are that's bad.
Hopefully I don't lose you because it is storming, you guys.
Lose y'all, that's what it is.
Accept the invitation, case study 2.
Sorry. And provide education about them. Yes, which I think, because they do provide those, right? Development policies and education. Process ethical dilemmas, probably yes.
I don't
think
Mhm.
that would that be, oh, it is.
Well, yes, it's
It's
ethical.
the ethics
Okay, so let's talk our way through case study 2. Who wants to lead and read and kind of guide us through this? Any volunteers?
I can read.
Okay. Are you able to see the screen? It is going to make it a little bit larger.
Yeah, I can start with this one because I didn't really understand. So Greg and Lisa have been asked to take the lead on the legal and ethic committee at the Hazel Place for Nurse Advocates. As the team leader, have asked them to discuss the steps of the ethical decision-making process and what does the ethical decision-making entail? What should you expect them to say?
All right, team, let's hear from you. Ethical decision-making process. What are those things? What are
I
those?
maintain a neutral ground.
Okay, keep going.
My one teammate said remain within guidelines.
Okay. Keep going. Let's hear from someone else.
Implement your decision and reflect on the outcome.
Okay. So here it is. You have this situation that's been brought to your attention. What is the first thing that you should do with that situation? You're on the ethical and legal committee. What's the first thing that you need to identify?
The problem.
Exactly. Identify what that ethical issue really is. So the first thing that you need to do, or should be a priority, is identify the ethical issue in the situation. You do all those other things as well, but the first thing is identifying, well, what is the ethical issue here? Great. Okay. Ms. Thompson, here we go.
The following are ethical principles. Discuss each. What is that? Beneficence?
Beneficence.
Say it again.
Beneficence.
Beneficence. Disturbative justice. Non-maleficence. Is that what that is?
Non-malfeasance.
Non-malfeasance. Autonomy. Start keep reading.
That's it. Let's discuss these. What is beneficence, you all?
I have no clue.
It's kindness or
It's
charity.
an act of clarity, mercy, or kindness.
Anyone else?
Holding like a dying patient's hand.
Doing the most good in that possible situation. For example, just a someone riding down the road, they saw someone that had a car accident. They went to the car accident to provide assistance. The person was down a ravine. So the most good that they could do in that possible situation was call 911 and assure the person and alert the person to let them know, hey, I'm calling for help. So you're doing the most good in that situation, whatever that situation is. Okay. What is distributive justice?
Ensures that the benefits and burdens are distributed fairly.
Okay. Yeah, so you're advocating for all to be as evil playing ground as possible. You know, no matter if this person, you know, they are actually receiving hospice care, but then hospice care doesn't pay for, I don't know, we'll just say air mattress. But if the person was not listed as hospice, they would be able to get the air mattress. But they need the air mattress to decrease the chances of them developing skin ulcers. So distributive justice kinds of keep things as level as we can, a level playing field. So that things, just because you need this level of service, you're not disqualified if you were listed under this level of service, so to speak. So an example would be advocating for Medicare coverage or hospice services, so that no matter which services you're receiving, you're still receiving that best care. Okay, what is non-malfeasance?
Do no harm.
To do no harm. What about autonomy?
It's like things you could do yourself.
Self-governance.
Yeah.
Okay. So that patient is saying, hey, I don't want to. That patient is saying, hey, I do want to. So you're respecting them, their wishes, them being able to self-govern. Great. Okay, go ahead, Ms. Thompson.
Greg and Lisa knows that the healthcare facility ethics committee serves which purpose? Yes or no? Develop policies and provide education about them. I put yes for that.
What are we saying, group? Do they develop policies and provide education?
Yes.
Okay, we agree.
Process ethical dilemmas. I said yes as well.
I did too.
Yes.
Okay.
Caring for aging clients. I put no.
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 Okay.
Approve emergency mental health committee commitment. I put yes. I mean no.
What are we saying, yes or no?
I put no. I'm just saying my answer.
No.
What are you thinking, Miss Ford and Miss Bug? I see y'all.
You know.
So we're saying no.
I put yes just
I
because.
say yes. Honestly, in our group, we say yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk us through your yes. But Miss Thompson is correct. But let's just think let's just hear how you were thinking.
To just be a mental health advocate, like trying to, how you said, remain neutral, but I do see what you're saying.
So what is our main concept?
Ethics committee.
So this question is asking what, remember I said, identify the concept. So the concept is ethics. So emergency mental health commitment, does that really directly have to do with ethics?
No.
Okay. So
that's what messed me up too, though.
Yeah.
Go back to your main concept. Answer choices can be correct about something that you know, but if the question is not about that concept doesn't match what you know, then that's not the correct answer for this question. That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. Okay, case consultation.
No.
Okay.
I'm thinking I'm scrolling. My bad.
I got it. Here we go. Ms. Thompson?
Standards of care are authoritative statements that describe a common or acceptable level of client care or performance that have some similarity to policies and procedures. Thus, standards of care define professional practice. The American Nurses Association has formulated general standards and guidelines for nursing practice. They are broad and general and natural and apply across the nation. Which statement is accurate about the American Nursing Association?
Okay, so
They are, I'm
indeed.
sorry.
Okay, yes. So let's go through each one. So in order to answer these, we refer back to this statement here. So what is another word that we could use for accurate? Begins with a T.
True.
True. And what's another word we can use for inaccurate?
False.
So as we read these answer choices or these phrases or these statements about the ANA, we say if it's true or false or accurate or inaccurate. All right, here we go.
They are specific guidelines. True.
But inaccurate.
What kind of guidelines are they?
General standards.
They're general. They're not, they're broad.
Oh, they're not specific. Okay.
Not specific. Uh-oh. Okay, this one right here.
They define professional practice.
Accurate.
More accurate.
Yes, accurate. I see it. Okay.
I don't think it's gonna be on the same school.
They have some similarity.
Accurate.
Accurate.
Accurate, okay. The last one.
They are authoritative statements that describe a common or acceptable level of client care or performance.
Accurate.
Accurate.
I can't really see, but I'm gonna go with accurate.
Yes. So it would be true about the A&A.
This really taught me something on how to read my questions because I really don't be paying attention.
And all of this information have come from your assigned readings. This is not new information, you all. So they're like, what? Where'd she get that from? It's in your assigned readings. It's just in a different format. So one
Must be having anxiety.
Anxiety. So you use your sheet of paper or your board. Use that to do some jot noting. For the most part, people think that board is just to do math on. You can do math on it, but when you get to a test question, just jot down what you know about the concept. Use that sheet of paper or that board for that. Then that helps refocus you when you get, when your thought process is all over the place. So just jot down what you know. All right, let's see, let me look at our time because I don't want to run over here. Let me stop sharing. Okay, we have 7 minutes left. Let me ask you all some questions. I wrote them down here. Okay, so describe Cheyne-Stokes breathing. If you were telling someone what it sounds like or what it looks like, if they are assessing a patient, what would you tell them? What would you describe that Cheyne-Stokes breathing looks like? Did anybody look at my review?
Just gonna be honest,
I
I
did.
couldn't.
I didn't listen to the whole thing.
Not yet.
I did, but I don't remember.
Is
I
it
got
the
4
rapid
classes.
shallow breathing?
Shallow with periods of what?
Apnea.
Apnea. Exactly. So that person's breathing, they're not nice full breaths, that nice inhale and exhale, that rise and fall. They're really shallow. And then there are periods where there's no rise or fall at all. That's the apnea part. You are the nurse, and your goal is to ensure long-term positive health outcomes for pregnant teens and their children. What should you do, or what should your interventions focus be on for the mom long-term?
Maintain adequate nutrition.
Long-term. That's a great short-term.
Her
Make sure
continuing
she
her
finishes
education.
school.
What'd you say, Ms. Ford or Ms. Bierman? I heard one of you all say it.
Her continuing her education.
Exactly. Completing their education long-term.
Yes, long term, yeah.
So we want to get them back at school as quickly as possible. As soon as they're cleared to come back, the teachers, the counselors, they may have to rearrange their, they may have to come up with the IEP or some plan that's different so that mom can also take care of that child as well as still receive the full educational experience as her classmates. It just will be done differently. But a long-term goal is a child, no matter who it is, finishing their education, at least their high school diploma. Your client has just passed away and their family member is at the bedside. Your next conversation is about funeral arrangements. That family member says, no, I do not want to discuss that right now. What should you do?
Allow them time
You
to
can
go.
you can still stay in the room with them without discussing any funeral arrangements.
Or come at another time.
You just give them time.
Allow them time to
Yeah.
cope and then come back. Let them approach you.
So you want to
Definitely.
allow them time. And initially just remain there, just being present and quiet.
Exactly.
Remain and just be quiet. Just give them that
Yeah.
time.
And be
then-
quiet, yes. Mhm.
Exactly. So then, you know, after you've been there for a while, you just say, hey, I'll come back. I'll give you a little while and I'll come back. But initially, just remain with them and don't discuss the funeral arrangements. Once they have voice, hey, I don't want to discuss that right now. It's okay. So we have 3 minutes left. I owe you all 2 minutes, so we really only have 1 minute. So during that 1 minute is PowerPoint, and I actually put on my
Can I get that PowerPoint?
No, you can't have the PowerPoint, but you're good. You can review my exam review, which is on there.
Can I ask you something though? Y'all don't be wanting to give up them PowerPoints because y'all know that's where the answers at, ain't it?
In the PowerPoint, in the review, me talking through it, the same thing though.
I just rather get the PowerPoint than read through all these textbooks. Cause I got 4 classes, Miss Ford, 4 classes. It's killing me.
I understand. But I need you to do it differently. Your PowerPoint.
I'm gonna do it like you said.
Don't get hung up on the PowerPoint.
Because I did what you said last time.
Listen, do not get hung up on a PowerPoint. You have the PowerPoint. It's there in the video. Not only do you have the PowerPoint, you have me talking you through the concept that's on the PowerPoint. So you have better than just the PowerPoint. So don't get focused on those small details that lead you away from where you should be focused. You should be focused on reviewing the content. You have all your tools.
Okay.
And with that being said, the 2 minutes that we do have left, I owe those 2 minutes to you. Please reach out to some of you all have reached out and we have actually met. But go ahead and let's meet if you think you need to. You know your learning style, you know how you do best. For the most part, everyone did really well, but we want to strive for excellence. So let's see what else can we do. Let's put what they said, a pedal to the metal. So it for tonight, reach out via email so we can go back and forth, and so that we will have a paper trail about what was said and what was not said and what wasn't done and what was done. All right, you all have a good night, and we'll
have a good night.
You too. Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night, Professor Ford. Professor Ford.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know what's wrong with my email and Canvas and stuff. I get messages late and stuff. Can we pick a time to meet?
Sure.
Because I literally like went through I wrote my own notes, so I listened to the review. Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care.
Okay, bye.